Then you're gonna wanna break these two connections loose right here. Hey guys, Kevin with Screamin' Chicken here. Today we're going to go over some of the fuel system maintenance for your 82 to 92 and 93 to 02 Camaros and Firebirds. We're going to go over your fuel filter and your fuel tank vent valve. Both of these parts are about $20 parts that don't take more than about a half an hour to swap out. So this is just good maintenance and good insurance to do your older vehicle. And then I'm going to move in to explain a little bit of the differences between these for you. Okay, so here we have your fuel tank vent valve for your 82 to 92 Camaros and Firebirds. This is an identical replacement for what's on your car from the factory. These are to allow the fumes from your tank when you fill up at the gas station. The air has to go somewhere, so this is to allow air out. And then also on a hot day, as your car heats up, everything expands, including the fuel and the air. This allows the pressure from that to be released. That's why on the older cars, sometimes you'll occasionally smell fuel, especially if you park your car in a garage. You know, as it warms up, it vents the pressure. For the 93 to 98s, it uses something very similar. Same idea, does the same job. Just this one just looks a little bit different. They function the same. The earlier model for the 82 to 92 will work to replace this. We don't know of one of these being remanufactured right now. But because these work identically, you can just use this one. Really the only major difference is the nipple on each one is a little different. It's a little longer and it's only got one of the ridges versus this is a 3 ridge, but they'll work fine. It's, you know, they use the same. This is an original one that I broke one of the teeth getting it out, but they go right back into the same bracket. They just look a little different. They function exactly the same. On the 99 through 02s, you do not have one of these. They use a different system. It gets more into your emission style stuff. So you will not have these on a 99 through 02. Going back a little bit, if you buy an older project car and you get underneath it, you might find that there isn't one of these under there because a previous owner took it off or it clogged up, so they just removed it and didn't replace it. We don't recommend not having one of these because if you do, you've basically got an open hose that goes right into your fuel tank, so you can pick up road debris, trash, garbage, you know, any of those sorts of things. If you fill your tank completely full and something expands, you can actually leak fuel out of it. And then, you know, if you're picking up garbage and stuff like that that's getting into your tank on a fuel injected car, that can move up the lines and clog up your, it can clog up your fuel filter, which we're about to go over, but it can also make it all the way up to your injectors. And once it gets to your injectors, it becomes an expensive fix. So we recommend having this. It's a $20 part, it's cheap insurance. Now, another thing with these two, if the previous owner has removed this, you're gonna smell a lot more fumes because you've basically got an open gas can. You know, especially in a garage, an open gas can sitting in the garage because it just allows the fumes to work its way out from the tank. All right, here I've got the fuel filter for a 93 through 02 Camaro or Firebird. You can see here it's got a quick connect style on one end, and then on the other, it is a metal line bolt-in with a rubber grommet. This is an AC Delco, you know, GM factory replacement filter. So this is going to fit all your 93 through 02s. This is just good maintenance. You know, at this point, all these cars are 25 plus years old. After that long, it's a good time to replace the filter. On your 82 to 92s, you're going to have a couple of differences in the cars. So you need to be aware of whether or not your car is carbureted or fuel injected, and you need to find the filter that's going to fit that application. So they're going to be a little different. For the third gens, the filter looks very similar. But instead of having the quick disconnect like this one does, you'll have 2 screw-ins on each side, or 1 screw-in on each side. You'll have 2 total. But other than that, they look very similar. Coming very soon, we're going to have filters for your 85 to 92s for your fuel-injected ones. So we're going to have those hopefully here in the next week or so. And that way we can take care of all you guys with the third gens with fuel injection. But the big thing with the third gens is making sure you get the right filter for your application, whether you have a carburetor or fuel injection. If you've done an LS swap or something like that, you're probably into a custom fuel system anyway. Most of this stuff probably doesn't apply to you. Okay guys, you can see I've got the 3rd gen up in the air. I'm going to show you where the vent valve and the fuel filter are on this one. The fuel filter is slightly different on this car. I'll show you that real quick. But the vent valve is in the same spot, and the fuel filter is really in the same area. It's just a couple inches over into a different spot. So we'll go ahead and slide under the car. Turn on the light so we can see. And as we get under here, there's your fuel filter right there. The difference between this one and the 4th gen really is just that it's got this move out of the light here so I could show you the screw-in type line, hard line on both sides, whereas the 4th gen, it's on one side and then you have a quick disconnect on the other. And the 4th gen one is like right here on the frame rail. And then back here, I'll show you this part. Here's your vent valve right up here. It's in basically the exact same spot on the 4th gen. When you look up in here, you're going to see the exact same kind of setup where it's stuck through a little bracket and then it's just got a hose on the back of it. I just wanted to show you on this car before we went over to the 4th gen. So the 3rd gen is very similar, almost the same, other than the connection type on the fuel filters. Okay, we're under our 98 Trans Am now. So you can see here's that fuel filter, basically in the same kind of spot. On the 3rd gen it was here, now it's just moved over here to this frame rail. And then when we slide back here, you can see that the vent valve is right up there in that same location in that bracket. Let me twist around and I'll get you know, right here. That's that same vent valve, same spot. So we're going to show you how to swap both of these today on the 4th gen and then give you all a little more information. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to want to do once you get your car up in the air is put you a pan under here. You're gonna leak a little bit. Nobody likes laying in gasoline. It doesn't feel very good. So get you a pan to catch what you can, maybe throw some rags down. Then you're gonna wanna break these 2 connections loose right here. You're gonna wanna put a wrench on the filter and then on the line as well. I've already gone through and broken this loose. We were concerned that we might have some corrosion to make it bad to get loose, but it came loose just fine with me putting a wrench on both of them. And now I just need to work it off from there. Once you get it broke loose, you really don't need both wrenches. It spins fairly easily. Yeah, I can spin it with my fingers now. And you can see, you know, you are going to lose a little gas there. And then from here, you're going to want to squeeze these 2 clips and then try to push the line into the filter and then back off. So it might be hard to get this fully on video, but there we go. I just squeezed with one hand, pushed the line up onto the filter, and then I've been pulling it back off. There we go, that's loose. And then this clamp that holds the filter on is probably the hardest part of this job. You have to squeeze the clamp and then work it out of the hole that the tension's clamped into. We're gonna stop the video for a second and just let this fuel drain, and then I'll show you how to get that off. Okay guys, from here, I'm gonna take a small pair of channel locks or pliers, something that's got a little bit of a mouth to the side. You don't want direct on, that's why I said channel locks. And give this a squeeze back behind the filter, and you're gonna pull it together with the pliers, and then you're gonna kind of work it back and forth until either the bottom or the top comes loose. My experience thus far with these is usually it's the top, but you might be able to get the bottom one to pop loose. You gotta kind of just work it and try from both sides.
actually, we got lucky on that one. It just slid out, and it's still in there completely. It's not meant to be a real tight clamp because you can squeeze it. So I'm gonna say we got lucky there and didn't even have to take that one out. But like I said, you would just squeeze these two together. I did another car this morning. You just squeeze them together and then you pop either the top or the bottom out and then lift or drop it down to get the other side out. It's not hard, you just got to work it a little bit. And then I'm going to take our new filter, which I've got right here. I'm going to pull this end of the connector out. I'm going to make sure it's going to slide through this like this before I say we're really moving on. But I don't see any reason why it won't if the old one slid through. Yeah. So then from here, this is what I would consider the hardest thing. And this is just a me struggle, is I always struggle with putting these hard lines with the O-rings and the line that slides through these back together. They just inevitably always fight me. So I'm gonna try and get it started by hand and then go from there. Which, actually, I think I've got that started now. Yep, this one went way better than the one this morning. The one this morning, it took me 15 minutes to get this started. So this one went real nice. And then we're gonna take our quick disconnect side. We're gonna slide the cap off the new filter on that side. And you'll turn this little clip so that it's gonna line up with your hose. And then just take your hose and slide up on there. And then you may have to, turn your clip or something, or try to get your hose to spin a little. But then that just slides back on and that side's clipped. We're gonna tighten up this side. Grab my wrench. You don't have a whole lot of room in here, so you're not getting a whole lot of turns at once, but it is fairly coarse threaded. So that's to where it's snugging up and spinning. I'm gonna take my other wrench and put on the filter. And then you're gonna use both to tighten this. You don't wanna try to crank this down with just one wrench. You will spin a line and break something. You wanna make sure you have one on the filter to keep it from turning. And that's it. This filter's good to go. We're gonna take a little pause and set up, and then we'll show you how to do the vent valve back behind here I showed you earlier. All right guys, so now we're gonna swap out this vent valve. I'm gonna start with just a pair of pliers, channel locks, and squeeze the end of it and try and get it to push through. You might be able to do this by hand. It just clips in, but you guys know sometimes these small plastic clips are the hardest thing we ever deal with. And then let's see, and to be honest, putting a new one in it, if you have to, breaking it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna try not to do that, but if it happens, it happens. It does not want to come, so I'm gonna grab my pliers again. I'm gonna take just, there. I broke one of the teeth off. Not a big deal. We're replacing it, so this just sticks up into the hose. So then you're gonna pull it back out. This is the original one with this car, so it might be stuck in this hose a little bit. We may have to kind of work it and spin it to get it to slide out. Okay, I'm gonna get this slid out of here, guys. We're gonna shut the camera off because I'm gonna have to fight it for a few minutes probably, but it does just slide up in there. We'll show you once I get it loose. All right guys, so I've got my new one here and then my old one. Unfortunately, I couldn't get this old one to just come loose of the hose, but we have more than enough hose here that I was able to just cut it right where the nipple ends, and we're gonna stick our new one in and we'll be okay as far as length of hose. It won't be a big deal. I fought this one for quite a while, and I even would say I almost hung from it, and it still didn't want to come loose. So I finally made the decision to cut it. As you can see, I literally cut it right at the end. So now we'll just take our new one and it's just gonna stick back in the new hose. Reach around here. And I'm gonna take the end of it and just, this part's probably gonna be fun because this does have a little cover deal that goes around the hose. So it's hard to hang on to it. You ever have the easy thing fight you guys? It's usually what fights me. The hard stuff goes through no problem. The easy stuff fights me every time. I'm gonna go get a little bit of lubricant to slide that in. All right, guys, I just sprayed a little WD-40 in here. That's what we have handy around here. Just to try to get this to slide into this little plastic hose a little better. This hose is plastic, so that's part of the problem. All right, guys, I fought that for a while, just getting this hose to kind of loosen up and open up to slide it in. And then from there, you just slide it back into the bracket and it clips down in. You might be able to see I don't have this hose all the way down this, so I'm gonna keep working at this a little bit to try and get it further down the line, but it is over the nipple, and this is just a vent valve, so that would probably be okay, but I'm gonna try to work it down farther. Other than that, that was really it. It was just trying to get this to stretch out. This is old kind of plastic style line. It'll stretch, but you know, over time and heat, it's gotten a little bit stiff and brittle and it just didn't want to move. So played with it, stretching it out, using a wrench in the end of it, just kind of working it around it, and I was finally able to get it down on there. And then I'm going to keep working at it to pull it down the rest of the way so that it's where I want it to be. But if you can get this to just loosen up, you're fine. It does fit. We did compare the nipples on the old one and this one are the exact same size. It just, this line's gotten old and hard, so it fought me some. If this was a rubber line, we'd have been done 40 minutes ago, but this plastic style line just gets stiff with time and we had to fight it.
So hopefully today you learned about some good fuel system maintenance. You know, these parts are about $20 a piece. It's good, cheap insurance, like I mentioned earlier. Time-wise, both of these jobs together shouldn't take you more than 30 minutes if you need to do both. 15 minutes for each one, maybe. Like I said, we recommend, you know, doing these things. Just keep your maintenance up. Maintaining a car is the best way to keep it on the road. Bad maintenance gets cars off the road. Good maintenance keeps them on the road. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Remember to like, subscribe, and share, and come see us at screamingchicken.com.